Yes, sir.
46.
46 of them.
46.
Oh, my goodness, Robin. We've done it again.
Episode 46 of the Sports U podcast. Welcome, everybody. If you are new or if you're a supporter already, welcome to episode 46, where we're going to redo that same format that we had for you guys last time. Gifted.
Because it was so juicy.
It was juicy. Gifted. You
What's
ready
up,
to get
Rob?
into it, brother?
I feel great about this one, man. Let's go.
Well, we have a lot of headlines here, so let's get into the news for Sports U. These are the headlines where, we just want to mention them, something that we feel like it's a big deal in every league. Now let's get into the first one here, Gifton.
What we got?
The Nets, LaMarcus Aldridge. Everybody was complaining about him joining that squad. Has now retired.
Yeah, man, that one hurt my heart when I found out why he had to retire.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended at all. But he was forced to retire early due to an irregular heartbeat, and it's scary because he played 20 games for the Spurs, and then was waived, and now he was on Brooklyn, and he played for 3 games for Brooklyn.
Yeah, something around that.
Yeah, that's so scary.
He even said himself, though I am better now, what I felt in my heart that night was still one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. So he retired after 15 seasons of being in the NBA and included 7 All-Star appearances, 5 All-NBA teams. This guy was deadly from mid-range, an amazing rebounder as well. When rebounding was not something where you're shooting, it mattered because it was all shorter range. Nowadays, everything bounces very far. It's even hard for a big man to get rebounds nowadays because they clank off of the rim so much. So that's why guards are getting so many more rebounds than usual. And also, they like to start the break like that, let the guard get the rebound there. But overall, again, let's get back to LaMarcus. It's a loss for the league, man. It sucks. He definitely was seeming like he was hitting a decline when it came to his athleticism, the way he can move his body. Very stiff out there. You talk about stick in the mud Stafford. This guy LaMarcus was definitely seemingly like that. But, oh, my goodness, the way that he put up numbers in the playoffs, the way that he was able to put out, especially with the young Damian Lillard, just a lot of potential there. And when he went to the Spurs, that was a big hit. That was
a big hit.
A big addition. So LaMarcus Aldridge, definitely part of the story of the NBA. But would you consider him a Hall of Famer?
No,
real quick.
He didn't win.
No,
I
I don't think I add him.
Performer, great teammate, great player, great big. Not a Hall of Famer, no.
I don't think I add him to my Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame's big style. Let's get on to the next one here, though. Stephen Curry.
Boy, this boy has been on fire.
Everybody's been talking about it. Is he back in the MVP running? That was both of our picks before the season. We actually changed them. I changed mine to Damian Lillard because
I picked Nikola Jokic.
We talked about why we had him gifted with the way that he's just been putting out. He just recently scored 47 points. We'll get to him next, but Stephen Curry. Do you still believe in Nikola Jokic and what he's able to do, or does Steph's recent stretch just blow it out of the water?
No, Steph's recent stretches definitely blow it out the water, but, I mean, we know how the league works, bro, when it comes to MVP, so it's Jokic's turn, if we're being realistic.
So I do want to give Jokic his stuff, give him his flowers, you could say. But in this streak, I think he shot in his last 10 games, it was 40 points per game.
Right.
He's shooting 50% from 3.
Right.
And then I think it was 4 assists a game, about 6 rebounds. So, man, he's putting himself into crazy territory. And I just feel like the type of season that we're having is deflating the status of those numbers, which kind of sucks because we're watching it happen and it's amazing.
Right.
And it's
who cares?
Is it really real numbers the same way Kobe got those numbers where he was working hard for them, you know what I mean?
Right.
This guy, he makes it look easy kind of, but overall this recent stretch just kind of proves what type of status that Steph Curry has, and it's great that he's doing it without Klay Thompson and everything. Yeah. But overall, I kind of expected this. That's why I wanted him to be the MVP of this season, put everybody on the map, as well as, hopefully these Warriors can get a Klay Thompson, and then, they can be back on the pedestal.
Right.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think that it's going to be the way that I don't know. I don't know. Nikola Jokic this year is doing really well, but I still got Damian Lillard just because I feel like he has something to say. And the story, the way that you push things going forward into the playoffs, because the Nuggets are already there.
Yep.
But these other guys are still fighting for a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they can get into that 8th spot and pull out the victory when it comes to that trophy.
Yeah, I mean, Steph has been Steph, honestly. Not surprised. Great last couple of games, but I mean, I think I'm gonna stick with my pick when I switched it to Jokic, and only because, like I just said, like we know how the league works when it comes to MVPs. Ain't no way in hell Steph's about to get a 3rd MVP.
Well, we'll talk about Nikola Jokic just right now. So, in the last 10 games, these are about because I didn't update the stats, excuse me, but he's about 20. I would say 30 now because he had that 47-point game. It would be like 30, 11, and 12. And he's shooting on a true shooting percentage of 68%. So Nikola Jokic isn't just doing it with his passing ability, but he's rebounding the ball because he's so tall again, and he's able to run up the court, bring it up because he plays like as a guard when it comes to like the playmaking skills.
Yeah.
And then he's able to shoot deadly with the true shooting percentage like that. And it seems like he's always doing that because he never really dunks the ball. When he goes into it, it's more of a layup. But overall, like, this guy is just increasingly getting better year in, year out. It's coming to my attention in my head right now. If you had to start a franchise, Gifton, would you rather start it? And this is just popping into the head off script.
Okay.
Would you rather have a Nikola Jokic or a Giannis Antetokounmpo? Because they both bring a different type of finesse to the game. One power, one does finesse, and one, has an outside shot, but one's just dominant.
Yeah.
Who would you rather start off your team with, and then go ahead and say what you have to say about Nikola Jokic with his MVP run?
Oh, man. That's honestly a very good question. To answer it, though, I would probably have to go with Nikola Jokic only because you just read the stats. He's a better shooter. He's not as dominant as Giannis physical-wise, but when it comes to controlling the game, he has that thing on a string. He has the whole tempo of a game on a string, and it's ridiculous. So I would probably I'd definitely go with Jokic only because he can shoot, he can pass. Look at his passing. Mm-hmm. His passing alone, and then the fact that he can get to the rim, he can do some fillet type shit. Like it's. Yeah.
So
definitely
if you would have to say, because I feel like one's missing, the other has it, right?
Yeah.
If you think about that, so Giannis has a crazy defensive advantage using his athleticism to his advantage, but then you also have Jokic's way of being able to see the floor with his vision.
Right.
It's not like Giannis can pass, but it's more of like a drive and kick.
Not 12 assists a night.
That man, is definitely different. So, but he can also shoot. So he has two things that are definitely better than Giannis, and Giannis just has it in that type of way because, injuries nowadays seems like it has to be mentioned when you talk about a player and them leading your squad. Yeah. But, man, to put him in this type of realm when it's talking about a Giannis, a two-time MVP back-to-back, right? Finally, Nikola Jokic is getting his flowers, being able to put out the type of numbers that he's doing.
Exactly.
Again, he's shooting basically 60-44 from three and 87 splits in the recent run that he's had without Jamal Murray. So he's taking on a bigger role, and he's providing. Providing.
Yeah, definitely good to see for Denver because it was a big blow when Jamal Murray had went out. But I mean, the fact that you have Jokic who's just as capable of getting it done as Jamal Murray, that I know Denver is like it's a little rough, but they don't mind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's just interesting to have that comparison and at the same time to show what type of realm he is in.
Right.
So let's get into the next one here, though. Kind of the opposite.
The Chicago Bulls suck. That was a wasted trade for nothing.
So Vucevic getting traded to the Chicago Bulls from the Orlando Magic was a big one. It felt like they had what they needed to make an actual playoff run. Possibly win the play-in tournament so that they can get into the actual playoffs.
Ha!
Man, did that go wrong. And my thing is that I'm not mentioning this because, the Bulls suck or it didn't really work out. It doesn't work out for the Bulls' future.
Nope.
Here we have the Knicks on an 8-game win streak being able to attract somebody in free agency. And then you have these guys right here who are losing, who has Vucevic for like the next 2 years, and they're paying him a lot.
Right.
And they wanted to make sure that they both worked with Zach LaVine and Vucevic. Not only did they not like get on the court together as much, because that's what the recent NBA seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's resting. Maybe it's because of the bubble and everything. Another topic for a later time here. But again, they're going to be having to pay Zach LaVine and want him to stay. Like, he wants to have to – you need him to want to stay.
You need him to stay.
And they're not working right now.
Fuck
so
no.
I think that this move really backfired on them. They gave up a lot.
They did.
And now they're going to have to live with what they have. And they made a run for Zach LaVine. I don't think he's going to want to stay anymore just because they don't have that click. And they're paying a lot for this man. And he's supposed to be an all-star leading team. He has a lot of potential, but LaVine's not gelling with them.
Nikola Vucevic, great player, wrong team.
Wrong team.
Dead-ass wrong team. Because I feel like if you put him on, like, the Celtics, he'd have flourished.
I just think his defensive – he's just a defensive liability on, like, every team. And he can give it to you on offense, but it's not aggressive. It's very just, I'm just going to give it to you. It's nothing like, I'm scared of this guy. He can do it. He can put up a lot of good numbers, but it's not like, I'm scared of Nikola Vucevic every night. Vucevic.
Big Vucevic.
I wanted actually to bring this up. Let's get on to the next headline here.
What is that?
Russell Westbrook and the Wizards, they've actually been going on a little run here. I think they're on like either a 4 or 6 game win streak.
I think it's 4.
4-game win streak.
Yeah.
So they've been putting out some numbers. Russell Westbrook is reportedly healthy nowadays. It's been going on for about a month now. And no, you don't think that he's just blaming it?
No, I'm just saying, man. Like, didn't nobody want to do shit in Houston, but okay.
Well, let me just say this stat for my guy Russell Westbrook, because I want to give him his flowers. Right now, I think they have a 75% win rate when he averages when he gets a triple-double.
Right.
So he just kind of is able to do everything on the court. They just mentioned his clutch numbers and how efficient he is. Everybody's seen it in the mainstream stuff. What I want to overall say is, like, he gets a lot of criticism, and I feel like he has a big target on his back because of what type of talent that he actually possesses.
Right.
Look at that team and where it is and now and where it was. Now they're able to almost contend for the play-in and actually make a run into it if they have these two stars. You know, they still have, Bradley Beal right there, who's a 30 a night. So
30 a night.
30 a night,
God
my man.
Damn.
What I'm trying to say is, I want to give this guy his flowers. Like, there's things that in everybody's game I feel like that they take a lot of criticism for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's this guy's fault that the last year's Rockets didn't work. I don't think that him and Paul George not working is his fault either.
No.
And by all means, I think that Kevin Durant and him worked. I just think they met like some really good fucking teams, some historical teams.
They did.
They choked a little bit, but hey, it happens when you're young. So overall, I just want to give Russell Westbrook his flowers. He's an amazing player. It's awesome, and I really hope that one day he can capture that ring. Kind of like a Rajon Rondo type deal later in his career. He could still make this type of effort, be somebody coming off the bench maybe that's going to be able to just spark that next guy, that second team, and, provide the assists that he does, the rebounds that he does, the hustle that he does. So how do you feel about him and his recent stretch in the Wizards?
No, I mean, it's still amazing to see. I know I can't remember what episode it was, but I was like, fuck Russell Westbrook. I was mad. I was upset that day because he just got traded away. Anyway, but no, I'm definitely happy for Russell Westbrook. You're definitely right. He does have a big-ass target on his back when it comes to criticism. But, I mean, look at him, man. Like, that's just him. He's just a pit bull who's going to get you a triple-double every night. He just leaves it all on the floor. And if I'm a coach, how can I be mad that my star point guard leaves it all out on the floor every game?
Yeah, and it just speaks to what he's able to do on a night in, night out basis. And now he's healthy. He has no more excuses. Let's see what goes on in the next coming weeks. he can make a big difference. Just adding him is making them possibly into a playoff contention person. So team. So let's get into the next one here. Indiana University has offered
7 years, $70 million to Brad Stevens, but he turned it down.
He turned it down. Does that mean that he has job safety, job security getting when it comes to him coaching the Celtics?
He has job security in the league because he'll definitely go to another team. Now, as far as being on the Celtics, I don't know. I doubt it. You know what? I don't think Brad Stevens is going to come back after this season. Not on the Celtics.
That's a bold statement just because I feel like
I'm bold, baby.
If he had any sort of like uncomfort, like unstableness in the organization, or if he feels uncomfortable in the organization, why would not take this type of deal? That's a lot of money. That's a John Gruden type of
but he was
right
trying to his goal was to become an NBA coach.
I get that. The NBA's elite,
the creme de la
you're
creme.
kind of taking a step down, but I mean, if you're getting paid the same amount or more, why not stay there? But, I'd like to be known to bring a championship to the Boston Celtics as well. Like I was there since the beginning. So overall, I just think it's funny how I think they hired Mike Woodson eventually, right?
Yeah.
How much was he paid?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Probably
it
not
is
as much as him.
substantially less, probably about $3 million a year. For like a 5-year, I think they paid him $15 million or something like that. So it's very substantially less. I think Gittin's going to look it up right now. But let me just bring up this part as well. Jason Tatum has been going off. It's been due to not only Jaylen Brown kind of taking a step back and having a rest day or two, but they're really making this guy the star, making this guy the guy with the most shot attempts at the end of games, and it's really paying dividends right now. They're still one of the guys or one of the teams that does the most when it comes to ISO plays, not really doing this type of team effort, ball movement type of thing, when I thought Brad Stevens was known for that. We've been talking about it with the Celtics. Overall, like, it just feels like they need a new spark. They need something new in there to rejuvenate that team. So we'll see what happens going forward. But, yeah, Brad Stevens turning down this position, I feel like he feels like he has security with the Boston Celtics. So I don't think that's going to happen, in my opinion.
Security in the league, not with the Celtics.
Okay, I would think that you have a right to say that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you find it out, though?
Yeah,
about Mike
you were
Woodson?
actually spot on with the Mike Woodson to earn an average of $3 million annually on a 6-year contract. See, that's fucked up.
So $18 million. But this guy was going to make that more than $18 million in 2 years, and this guy was going to do it in 6.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
And Mike Woodson was coaching the Knicks, and they led him to the playoffs. Like, I understand it was Carmelo Anthony on that team, and they had a lot of quality players, but
he
knew what to do.
He plugged in Chris Copeland on, like, certain occasions, and when he plugged in Amon Shumpert, too, Mike Woodson's a hell of a coach, man.
Little shout out here, Jabari Parker. They got picked up. He got picked up by the Celtics.
Jabari
might be a nice little thing. I've always been a fan of his, but injuries just took him down.
Definitely.
His first game as a Celtic, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 6 of shooting, efficient in 15 minutes. It's not too bad for me. Let's get on to the next one here, though, Kipton. We were actually not laughing about it.
Nah, we was laughing.
All right, we were laughing about it just a little bit. Just because I wanted to bring up Aldon Smith, and I put it in our script, and I was like, hey, like, that's a good pickup for these Seahawks. Like, if he can keep his act straight off the field, then, it's going to pay some good dividends. No, he was charged with battery in Houston. Probably faces up to, like, about 8 years in prison. Gittin, how do you feel about Aldon Smith and his off-field issues?
See, man, I didn't know who Aldon Smith was coming into today's episode until you told me that, and now I just feel like Aldon Smith is just a fuck up who's just had too much money now.
It sucks because he has so much talent, and they just keep giving him chances, and then this happens. The thing is, though, innocent until proven guilty, even though he turned himself in. Maybe it's just for the warrant or whatever, but in a statement Monday, the Seahawks said, "We are aware of the reports regarding Aldon Smith. Aldon notified us, and we are gathering more information. We have no further comment at this time." So they haven't released him yet. He's still on the squad. They're really going all in on Russell Wilson. Let's see what happens. And I really hope that he's able to get there. Hopefully he can clean up his act, though.
No, yeah, I definitely hope he can clean up his acts, but it ain't looking too good, man.
Aldon Smith. Speaking of more legal issues and things of that nature, we have Aaron Donald being cleared of his name.
That was such a wild ass story, bro. Talk to me about that one. That was so
all
wild.
I know is apparently he asked for a bottle or something, dispute over a bottle. This guy got his ass whooped, claimed that it was Aaron Donald. It was actually his entire posse who was around him that was actually getting, beef and like moving around, like smacking and shit. So basically, Aaron Donald was just a side guy. It wasn't actually him who did it. It was like his posse and the people that he was with.
Right.
And it just was, a dispute at a club. Like shit happens.
Yeah.
So
did you see the video?
No, I watched the video, but like I didn't really pay attention to it. I just remember him just getting his ass whooped. And it was like all black and white.
I seen it on TMZ, but like it wasn't Aaron Donald. It was just a big ass dude like Aaron Donald, but it wasn't him. No.
Yeah, but I know that they were like all like disputing between each other right there.
That's like typical club shit that usually happens. But I mean, fuck that guy. You're just another bum ass dude trying to get somebody.
This guy's getting defamation up the ass right there. Let's say this one. It says the attorney for his name was DeVincent Spriggs tells KDKA his client mistook his attacker for the football star Aaron Donald.
How do you mistake your attacker for the football?
He's getting his ass whooped by somebody as big as Aaron Donald. I'd be out of it too, man. And then, so he's offered Donald an apology. But yeah.
Fuck your apology.
Aaron Donald, cleared of his name. That's a good man right there. Let's get into the next one here. It's still some more legal stuff.
Antonio Brown settles his sexual assault
with his former trainer. It's Brittany Taylor. Apparently they settled a civil dispute, and it happened, or they filed it in September of 2019 during, of course, Antonio Brown's all of his shit with the Raiders, all of his like getting into his character and what he was doing off of it. Mm-hmm. So they settled. I think that just means that, they just put it under the table. Nobody won. Nobody lost.
Yeah, she got paid, and that's it. That's all she wanted.
So this is just interesting because it came in at a crazy time, especially when it came to the character of Antonio Brown and what he was doing, kind of off the field, but still with the field activity. Overall, there was just a lot of things that happened coincidentally.
Right.
So I just wanted to say, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, who recently just denied every single accusation with all these different women, and it's tough.
It is.
I don't want to discount somebody's
no,
proven guilty on both ends. Now, what I am trying to say is, didn't Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, just have something with like some massage parlor type shit, and it's just been swept under the rug? Nothing really happened too much with him. I think he got fined, and that's pretty much it. Didn't lose his team. Didn't really have to serve any jail time, I don't think, either. It was settled. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that they already have these ties. These guys are very powerful men, billionaires. They run a lot of different shit, and they have a lot of different like ties, connections, all that stuff. So who's to say that they're holding Deshaun Watson hostage right now? He goes, if I am an athlete, I'm getting massages here, getting massages there. I think that they're normal. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I'm getting beaten up, or I'm working my ass out,
right,
off and shit.
Working my ass out.
Well, working out.
Whoa,
working
Robbie.
my ass off, working out. Yeah, I didn't mean to say it like that. But overall, what I'm trying to say is, they might be turning these like meetups or massage parlor things into actual like evidence. Like, okay, now we're gonna use this against you.
Yeah,
and we can make these people say this stuff because they work for us. Because I don't think that Robert Kraft is going to any massage parlor and saying, hey, do that to me, and I'm going to pay you this amount of money. I think he's actually going to somewhere that he knows.
He was on the island. He was at the island.
He was at those islands.
He was at that island.
Conspiracy theories aside, I think it's a realistic thing that he let's say he actually did do that, and that's just the culture of it, and that's what they do, and that's the connections that he has.
Right.
It might have been normal during the time, and now, since he's not doing what they want him to do, they're like, all right, we know that you did this here. We're going to have all these people come out, and we're going to, ruin your fame, and you might not even play another game in the NFL.
Right.
but now we're just going to ruin your shit, and now this is always going to be tied to you for the rest of your career.
All because he requested a trade.
So it's either he did it, and now they're using it against him as fuel, or he never did it, and he had, like, you know, the transcripts and the receipts to be like, hey, it can be possible that these people were enduring this type of treatment from Deshaun Watson. So there's a lot going into it. I think that the way that they were brought up was a little it wasn't very like that much respect towards like the people that were accused.
It was a little abrupt.
It was on social media,
which is like, I mean, because that's the new way to get shit out there now. But it's just like,
but I'm
if
saying
it's something that serious,
if it
I
hits
put it
you
on
and
social
stuff like
media.
that, like something like that actually happened to you, like a lot of people don't react to it that way, and they're just like, oh, like I'm in it for this or whatever, you know what I mean? So overall, what I'm trying to say is crazy shit happens, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You watch Ballers. Ballers is something that kind of shows the business side, another side of the sport.
Great show.
Politics are involved as well. I think that this is just one example of things being used to an advantage. Ruin somebody's character. But that's it. Those are the headlines here. Episode 46. Hopefully you guys liked the news headlines, the things that we just kind of talked about that happened throughout the week. But let's get into our stories here, right, Gifton?
Yes, sir. What you got up for me first, Rob?
So I was just talking a lot right now, so I'm kind of drawn out right here. But this is a new career. I need to exercise my jaw pause and get into it. So let's go ahead over here. Now, the story that I chose that really resonated with me was Alex Smith. He recently just retired from football, and it wasn't made as like a thing that he just sporadically thought. It wasn't because of an injury that happened to him that everybody, of course, knows. But I just kind of want to talk about like what he was able to go through, what he had to go through during his NFL career. Mm-hmm. That it's not just the leg, but it's also the different things that led up into him having to endure this leg injury and actually beating it.
I would imagine that played so much on his like mental stability to like know that the fact that like he might like, bro, I don't know how he was able to walk again after that. Like that was such a gruesome ass hit. And then just the leg itself was just so gruesome.
It just tells you what type of resiliency this man has, especially when it comes to his career. And it's not surprising because he was able to bounce back whenever something, kind of put him down. So let's talk about it right here. This is a story from The Athletic. This is where I read it from. So what he was kind of mentioning and highlighting that brought him down was his first NFL head coach Mike Nolan publicly called him out for not being able to play with a shoulder injury that left his throwing arm literally dangling out of his socket.
That's pathetic, bro.
Yeah, that's your head coach.
That's pathetic.
And you're brand new, and they're wanting you to play through that where it's literally dangling out of your socket there.
Yeah.
We have right here his replacement. He was then replaced, Mike Nolan, by Mike Singletary. He berated Smith on the sideline on national television in a game, and then the crowd started chanting, "We want Carr, we want Carr." And that is David Carr, who was the backup there sitting on the bench.
The David Carr.
The David Carr. No, that's Derek Carr.
Fuck.
That's his brother, David Carr.
Oh, he has a brother? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was selected first, number 1 overall. But let's get back into this one here. And then you had your two head coaches who don't believe in you as a starting quarterback get called out, and then you have the fans not being behind you, and then you had to watch, once you had a great team in the 49ers right there, watch Colin Kaepernick after you get sidelined for a concussion.
Just ball out on him.
Ball out.
And steal all the fame.
Take him to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
So it's like he was saying that it felt like you were feeding a slot machine and then somebody else came in when you went to the restroom and then they got the jackpot. So that's Colin Kaepernick getting the jackpot right there.
Oh, definitely.
But so then after that, he went to the Chiefs. He did his thing. He would show that he was actually a competent quarterback, a winning quarterback. Maybe not when it comes to the playoffs. I think he won like one game in the playoffs, honestly.
I think it was one.
But after that, he then goes to the Washington. I think it's the Redskins.
At the time, it was the Redskins.
I think it was the Redskins where he got hurt.
Yeah.
Suffered a broken leg in 2018 that led to his an infection that severely, just kept him down, and it was like 12 different surgeries.
I didn't know. I knew he had 12 surgeries because the way that like the leg broke, like it was damn near completely shattered. I didn't. This is new to me. I did not know it was infected.
Yeah, so that's why he needed to have all those different types of surgeries, because they needed to clean it and then reclose it. And then at the same time, there was a part where he was thinking that his leg could have came out. So everybody knows the story, all that. I just want to kind of let that be known that has happened to him. So not only these things internally, but then also his leg, and then now what he had to do on this Redskins team, or excuse me, the Washington football team,
well, at the time,
who was going through all these different things. Well, no. Well, he was the Redskins when he got hurt, but now it's the Washington football team when they went to the playoffs. He led this team to the playoffs after, I think it was like a 6-4 or 4-6 start. He was able to make a run at the end and then be able to perform. So overall, this is the same guy that had a concussion. Got called out by his coaches, injury that almost costed him his life, and now he's like, kind of calls it quits, especially after a season where he led this team into the playoffs. He wasn't able to provide in the playoffs because of his injuries, which sucked.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you already proved that you're able to come back and perform at a high level. Why? Aaron Donald tackled him, sacked him, and was just on top of him, and this guy was able to hold him up very, very, he was strong. He had a good, stable front. I'm just saying, though, I don't want to continue to see that happen to him, especially with the man like Aaron Donald on your back. That's just scary. So I think that his injury definitely played a part in it. But for me, it's just great to see Alex Smith, after every single time he was torn down, he was able to get back up, win divisions, get to the playoffs, win in the playoffs, his first playoff game, with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then at the same time, continue to get breaking down just to get lifted back up. So it felt like he always was challenged, and then he was able to come through with it. I think this decision wasn't necessarily a challenge to him because he was able to – it said he made his decision while he's skiing with his kids recently, right? So this guy kind of figured out another thing to kind of either fill that void, or he felt like he was already accomplished. And then he's like, this is an opportunity. Are these – if I quit football, more of these types of opportunities like skiing with my kids and my family will be – out there. So for him, he's going out on his own word because he performed in his last season. This is not something that was, I'm injured, like I can't do it anymore. And kudos to the people who are unable to do that, perform because of an injury. But he was able to get over all of his obstacles and barriers. So I just wanted to bring that up and say happy retirement to you, Alex Smith. What a story. What an amazing career. Number 1 overall pick. And consistency when it comes to what he was able to do for a franchise.
Nah, man. Definitely Alex Smith, man. What a career. Great quarterback. It sucks. It sucks to see shit like that happen to you. Well, to quarterbacks. Man. Happy retirement, Alex Smith. That's all I can say, really. Like you really came through so much. Like nothing. I can't even put words to it, bro. Because
it just sucks.
Yeah.
Well, not to cut you off, but it just sucks that every time it felt like it was gonna work out, something happened.
Yeah.
Imagine him in, on the what were the Redskins, now that the Washington football team. What he was able to do for them before the injury, and then even just bringing somebody up, the way that they developed Patrick Mahomes, he was able to sit behind an Alex Smith who was coming in early, leaving late at night, and really feeding into the people who were under him. So, again, happy retirement to Alex Smith.
Happy retirement, man.
That's my story. That's the story that I picked for this week. Gifton, what is yours, my friend?
All right, we are going to end this one on a good note. So, I believe it was Tuesday, Derek Chavin, the punk-ass cop.
Chavin.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Fuck that guy who killed George Floyd, the man who put his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, was convicted of all 3 murder charges. Well, not murder charges. It was second-degree murder,
third-degree murder,
Third-degree murder.
second-degree manslaughter, and the killing of Geroge Floyd.
And as you know, us being colored individuals here in this place we call America, it was finally good to see that the system that was not built for colored people finally play in favor for colored people.
Now, I don't support your America just because I think that there's a lot more other things that play a part in making America what it is, and that involves us colored people as well. Now, I'm not colored like you yourself, but when it comes down to this, it was just a big thing in the NBA when it came to Black Lives Matter, to have that happen as well, where justice was served, you know what I mean? And it affects us as a country. I think that sports play a huge part in the country and bringing us together.
Yes.
So it continued to do that through all of its different initiatives and just bringing awareness to what is at hand. Maybe a little bit of biasness, but I think that those biased things come from the heart, you know what I mean? Like more emotional, not necessarily cutthroat business type of decisions. So when this happened and justice was served, you know, the NBA was able to react. NFL players were able to react.
Yeah.
Different sports were able to react. Gifting, I know that you had a couple of different quotes, things that actually meant something new.
Yeah, I think the two that probably stood out to me was what Karl Anthony Towns and Trae Young had said. So Karl Anthony Towns had said, justice and accountability, things I never thought I would see. There's much more work to do, but this is an amazing start. Working toward the reform this country needs. My bad, I sound stupid right there.
No,
but
but
yeah.
it's in like there's probably like no like punctuation when it comes to Twitter.
And then shout out to Trae Young. Way more work to do, because there's way more work to do.
Anybody else that's like not in the NBA? Because I know that there's like a big movement right there, but I wanted to see it like across different sports, all the different ones here.
We have Tim Frazier, who just put up praying hand signs. Sterling K. Brown, the actor, he mainly just put a bunch of hashtag justice, hashtag tears, hashtag relief, hashtag go to jail in all capital letters, hashtag go directly to jail in capital letters, hashtag do not pass go, hashtag do not collect $2,000.
That guy's kind of a dick. Like trying to make it all serious, and it's like hashtag don't pass go, don't collect $200. Like, yeah, man, that guy's honestly, it's like that where it's like it's gonna be very severe, but overall, like, I don't know, like the way that it hit the sports world, I'm just happy that it happened, but. Just recently, LeBron was tweeting about some other person who was like holding a knife, and she got burned down as well recently by cops. And it feels like, you know, we got one thing done and one thing after another. It just needs to continue to be aware and brought more awareness to people who are looking to learn differences in understanding what is actually happening. You know what I mean? You speak of the system. I think that systems need to evolve the same that, you know,
a system needs to be updated every once in a while.
Humans need to evolve as well.
Houston.
So, yeah, I know. But, like, this is definitely a step forward in the right direction. I'm happy that there weren't really – it was like – everybody was on the same side of this one, it felt like. So, great win for the country. And sports was able to maybe hopefully contribute in their own way. But, again, you know, we try to do the most that we can with what we have. Yeah.
But as you know, we like to bring awareness. We like to, you know, we're not really a political show like that. But when shit like this happens, something needs to be said.
We're going to, again, do an episode pretty soon here. Give you guys some more content. But, no, thank you if you guys reached the end of this episode 46 here.
46.
Thank you for the support.
As always, go ahead and shout it that like button, bust down those comments, and remember to support you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode 46 of the Sports U podcast. See you on the next episode, and if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe.